Sometimes the best things in life are free. This is part of Lake Cumberland, Kentucky, on a quiet Saturday afternoon. And I didn't pay more than about 5 cents to enjoy this for the past hour. Yes, some things really are free. Watching a sunset, enjoying the company of someone else, sometimes. Even a nap or a good night's rest can be almost free at times. Of course, that's assuming that we have the peace of mind when we come to a beautiful sunset. And hence why I've heard someone say before that peace of mind is a great commodity to have. I'm reminded, for instance, too, of my grandmother, who was born in eastern Poland. And she was able to take the simplest things in life and make quite a bountiful source of pleasure from them. Whether it was relaxing with a soap opera 1 hour a day, or canning fruits and vegetables, or soaking her feet in a tub at the end of the day, sometimes at 10 o'clock at night. Maybe, too, her daily cup of wine, which she made herself. And a lot of flower gardening and other gardening. She never left the farm, but once or twice a week, to buy groceries or go to church, at an ethnic church. And also, she never drove, and she never worked a quote-unquote conventional job in terms of punching a clock and getting a salary. But my, did she work a job in other ways that you would call off the clock, but in fact, the clock was ticking 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Also, a very inexpensive source of recreation, shall we say, was a cup of coffee every day, just 1 or 2 probably. And she probably stepped foot in a cafe very, very infrequently, or a restaurant for that matter too, typically only to take a relative out, whether a daughter, son, or grandchild. Otherwise, she felt, why spend the money when I can get pleasure in so many less expensive ways and with a lot less trouble? No driving, no parking, no having to buy gas or insurance for a vehicle, and so on. I would hence close with a little humorous commentary on our approaches to getting happiness these days and the questionable efficacy of them, the questionable benefit thus. You have to wonder if we could have much better therapy services available. But here's the rub, perhaps. The better the therapy, the more serene a person overall. And the more serene a person is, the more like my grandmother. And the more like my grandmother, the more consumption of tea, sunsets, and flower gardening, and less purchases, if any, of automobiles and driving, etc., restaurant meals, movies, and yet a happier life by far, all things considered. You have to wonder then what would happen to a country or the world if more people were like my grandmother, or in general if therapy or anything else in life advertised to make you happier actually made you truly more serene, more like my grandmother, less consumptive of all kinds of resources, products, etc. And if these are untaxable, by the way, and not stigmatized in general, you have to wonder what would happen to a country or a nation that is oriented towards lots of purchases. And the San Francisco toy approach, I would say, as opposed to the sub-Saharan dusty African village approach with corn cobs providing entertainment for young children. And when they're worn out, they're easily replaced. And the child never getting quite bored because they have much more serenity on average, can use their imagination, and the toy itself is not the main point. It's not a focus for distraction or deriving of status or anything like that. You have to wonder, once again, whether conventional therapy doesn't work as well as it could, to say it lightly. Because if it did, where would we be as providers of products to the nation, to the world?